Boop. All right. Sending out the call as usual. Sending out the call. I am obviously very late, but it was a family day. My folks, my brother, and my niece all got together and saw Wicked. Reception was mixed based on probably mostly whether or not you liked musicals. I love musicals. And if you just want to see a very, very beautiful, like stunningly gorgeous musical, then Wicked is pretty good. If you want to see something more deep and complex with like themes that aren't just on the nose and being worn on the sleeve and hammered in, then maybe don't go see Wicked. But I thought it was very gorgeous and very well performed and very well shot and even pretty well acted. Although there was some acting that kind of had me cringing a little bit. The actress who plays Elphaba is fantastic, though. Absolutely just perfect pick. Just unbelievably good. See, this goes into TTRPG nonsense. TTRPG. All right. And that's all that. I'm going to be reducing the posting now. And we will get to business. Let's get down to business to defeat the war. Ooh. Ooh. I've been actually waiting for some of these. I don't think any of this is any new. We'll go ahead and take a look at the Sunday preview. Like I said, I don't think any of it is new. I think this is made to order usually means it's terrain that has been done before. Yeah, we have the Sector Basilicum. That's just freaking, if you like gorgeous terrain pieces, now terrain is probably the easiest thing to handcraft or kit bash. If you have a 3D printer, even if it is an MDF printer, it is very easy to print terrain for your games. And there are lots and lots of different terrain options out there, depending on what kind of terrain style you want. But like many kits, G-Dub stuff is absolutely gorgeously sculpted. But it is probably also very expensive. We got the Imperialis sector terrain, which would actually go pretty well with the new stuff from Kill Team. Now, one of the other problems is in 10th edition, terrain has area. Like it has a space that it takes up, and you're supposed to mount it. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. For example, a lot of tournaments actually put it on they'll have like a game mat down, and then they'll put acrylic standees underneath all the terrain pieces so you can maneuver them and stuff like that. You can literally move the terrain piece to check or move your models and stuff, and then you can just put it back in place, because, for the most part, that little standee will essentially block out where that terrain piece should be. But if you're doing a full modeling, you'll need to create your own base. So you're going to end up doing at least a little bit of kit bashing on this old terrain anyway, as well as a lot of the new terrain too. I want to get some of this Manufactorum stuff. I have a lot of Imperialis. I have a lot of Manufactorum terrain specifically. Like, I don't have a lot of like this Imperialis terrain, but I have a lot of Manufactorum terrain already, and so like completing some of my pieces would be nice. However, I am also broke, so getting more G'd up terrain probably not in the cards right now. Although getting these objective markers, particularly this one was like the captive gene stealer organs, is like, I like having actual objective markers to fight over as opposed to just the. I love both match play and narrative. What can I say? I am the guy who floats between both worlds. I am the guy who cannot get enough 40K. What's that? You want a fun and fluffy game? Yeah, count me in. What's that? You want to play a hardcore, strict, no takes backsies competitive game? Yeah, count me in. Although I prefer playing by intent for match play. And that looks like that's all the made to order stuff for now. It would be nice to get the objectives. And this, just to have more Manufactorum terrain. Even get 2 of them. I'll have to see what the price is, as in maybe if I'm lucky. And made to orders usually go for 2 weeks. So they put this before Christmas intentionally. So maybe if I'm lucky and I get some extra cash for Christmas, I might. I don't think I'm going to get extra cash for Christmas, though. It has, of course, been pretty hard all around. I am definitely not the only broke bastard. I'm not the only one suffering. All right. But that's not what we're here for. We're not here for what we're fighting over. We're here for the people doing the fighting. All we want for Christmas is an orbital assault. The average Imperial trooper asks for very little at Grotmas, such as their dedication to the Emperor. No more than a fresh pair of socks and a new magazine for their lasgun. Maybe some better boots. But when the fighting gets sick, they might hope for the soldiers of the Militarum Tempestus to drop in for a flying visit with the Bridgehead Strike Detachment. So this is going to be a Scion-themed detachment. When the Astra Militarum launches an offensive, their attack routes are typically planned well in advance. Should a crucial bridge, mountain pass, supply depot, or other essential objective lie along their path, an elite force may be tasked to secure it ahead of the main push. The shock troops of the Militarum Tempestus, or equivalent specialist companies like the Cadian Kasserkin, most often undertake such missions, deploying via aircraft, grav chutes, or fast-moving columns of armored transport. They hit their target zone hard. With the site secured, the strike force must hold their prize against whatever the foes hurl at them, until the main strength of the Imperial host reaches their position and relieves them. This detachment provides new rules to Militarum Tempestus units as they come in quickly and target enemies' weak spots to rapidly take down their foes. Their ranged attacks are given a +1 to wound on the turn they arrive from reserves or disembark from a transport. The other Istra Militarum units that support them are picked for their elite training and also get rerolls of 1s to hit to represent this. The enhancement and stratagems included represent the superior training and equipment that they are given, with such tech like Bombast class Vox Array enhancement, which allows Militarum Tempestus officer units with Master of Vox to issue the same order to 3 different regiment units. These hand-picked task forces know the importance of their mission and will call in support at the cost of their own safety. The On My Position stratagem allows a regiment infantry unit to call air support in on themselves and the enemy units which are in engagement range. For the men and women of the Militarum Tempestus, the landing zone is as hot as the turkey. Tune in tomorrow for a quadruple festive helping of Chaos Demon Detachment. All right, so we're going to have our work cut out for us tomorrow, and I got a doctor's appointment. So I will probably have to do the stream after that doctor's appointment. And it's an important one. It's my migraine treatment. I can't miss it. If I miss it, I will be in trouble. Trouble! All right. Now, quick clarification as I download this. I have read the balanced data slate at this point, but I have not yet read the MFN. So I do not currently have any opinions on what is currently up or down or anything like that. Obviously, Leontis, if you haven't read it, Leontis got a nerf. And you should already know that Aquilon's got a nerf. That Aquilon's got a nerf, however you want to pronounce it. I want to, because it's Aquila, I want to call them Aquilons. But we'll go ahead. Since we're here, we will do what we did last time with the orcs. We will pull up. Gotta look through. We will pull up our rattlings. Ooh, here's the bridgehead. Close that tab. We can actually close that one too. And we'll look at the changes that were made to the Aquilons. All right. You should already pretty much know a lot of these, in addition to the fact that they almost certainly got like a huge increase in points because they were stupidly efficient to begin with. Aquilons have Scion stats. Big surprise. They have Hotshot Las Carbines with Scion stats for them. You can you get a Sentry you get to take with you because you get 1 Tempester and 9 Tempestus. Tempester has the Hotshot, Sentry Flamer, in close combat, and everyone else is equipped with a Hotshot Las Carbine and close combat weapon. The Sentry Flamer can be replaced with the Hotshot Volley Gun or the Grenade Launcher. The Tempester can go melee. And then one of your Aquilons gets a Melta Carbine or a Plasma Carbine. Or Carbine, I should say. I keep switching between... There are certain pronunciations I switch, like melee. I switch between them depending on the words around them. You know, it's like the whole the thing. Or a or a. Is it a tomato or a tomato? You say tomato, I say tomato. I say whatever the hell I wanna. All right. Let's see, 1 Tempest, 2 Hotshot pistols. So if you want to go for more close combat, long las. Yeah, and again, more Hotshot las pistols. So you can go for a more close combat loadout. But it is a 10-man, so not all of them. But yeah, 10 of these guys for 90 points. And of course, the big thing was originally these had a 3-inch drop, but it's now a 6-inch. So in your movement phase, when this unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, it can perform a precision drop. If it does, this unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units, but until the end of the turn, it is not eligible to declare a charge. When this unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, the Tempester Aquilon can shoot with its Sentry weapon, its Sentry Flamer, Sentry Grenade Launcher, or Sentry, as if it were your shooting phase. So basically, you're launching the Sentry first to clear the drop zone, and then they come in. Now, of course, everyone recognizes this nerf. The thing that you might not catch, and one of the reasons why these needed a nerf, is they added this part. Because before it was when you set them up from Deep Strike. But this means you cannot use this ability when rapid ingressing. If you rapid ingress them in, they have to come in at 9. Which really is only fair because, you know, you're already deploying the unit after your opponent has moved, barring all reactive moves. Okay, so you're already in position, and then your next turn, you get to move and charge and everything. So 9 inches is already, a 9-inch rapid ingress is already freaking fantastic. So, but yeah. And they got good guns. They've got good guns. The Melta Carbine is a pretty good all-purpose gun. The only problem is it's single shot, so it is a little bit lacking in the reliability. The Sentry is a little less reliable, but it still does a lot of damage. I mean, you can literally shoot out a bunch of crack at your opponent. Oh, by a bunch, I mean a pair. Just kazunk. You know, Sentry Flamer, which of course also makes you a pretty good Overwatch target, as does the number of shots that this can put out, depending on how you kit out this unit. So yeah, this was a fantastic unit. This was almost a blatantly broken datasheet, and now it is still good. Probably, like I said, I haven't seen the MFM yet. If they got like Desolation Squad level nerfs, then they're obviously not good anymore. But as long as they're actually reasonably costed this time, it'll still be a good unit. All right. So that's our Aquilons. All right, next we'll take a look at our Ratlings, which we're getting in, which you might have, although it did sell out relatively quickly, you might have been able to get a hold of in the new Kill Team box. So they got stats. These are definitely stats that they have. Yeah. They die to a stiff breeze, and they break after they die to that stiff breeze. If they don't die to that stiff breeze, I mean. So, yeah, you are not putting these guys in combat. That's not why you use them. They do hit very well. Even their base weapon is a really good anti-infantry weapon. Space Marines do not want to get shot by these guys. Like, there's basically no infantry on the table that wants to get shot by these guys. And then they've got a tank stopper. And how many can they take? Sorry. Yeah, so they get 1. And the tank stopper will not actually stop a tank. Let's face it. Not unless you're giving them a heck of a lot of stratagem support or something like that. But, you know, it will put a hurting on a lot of different things. And then you got their close combat. You think Tau were bad in close combat? All right. They've got Infiltrators and Stealth. Shoot, Sharp, and Scarper. In your shooting phase, after this unit is shot, if it is not within engagement range of any enemy units, it can make a normal move as if it were your movement phase. If it does, until the end of the turn, this unit is not eligible to declare a charge. So they have move, shoot, move. They have a Battle Mutt. Well, if you take 10, you have a Battle Mutt. Once per battle, when this unit is selected to shoot, it can use this ability. If it does, until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by the models in this unit have the lethal hits ability. That is a weird thing for a doggo to be doing in a sniper team. I thought from like the way they were kind of flavoring it that this was going to be like an extra use of maybe their shoot, sharp, and scarper. Because they were talking about how it like warns them of enemies. But I mean, lethal hits is good. I'm not going to sneeze at lethal hits. And one model can be equipped with demolition gear. And the demolition gear is the bearer's unit has the grenades keyword. So yeah, So if you got 10, you've got grenades. You're probably only going to be using the grenades defensively because although they are good scouts. Now, the funny thing is there is a little bit of anti-synergy here. Now, they've got reliable shooting to begin with. They are 3+. But, and of course, they are not regiment. That's a thing. That is something to be aware of with these guys. They are not regiment. And they sure as heck ain't squadron. So they are not regiment. So they're actually not as reliable as I would like. So in order to get their full reliability, you're going to want to camp them. You're going to want to put them somewhere, probably on an objective. And you're just going to want to get as many long range shots as you can. And then potentially scarper off depending on what you're doing. But the scarpering thing is a bit of anti-synergy because these are heavy. These are heavy weaponry. But a squad of these will pick off a character. That is something they can do. They're all of their guns. If you do not take the tank stopper, and honestly, I don't see you taking the tank stopper. Like, I think you're probably better off just going with all sniper rifles and just trying to pick off leaders here and there if you're going to actually take these. All right. The Bridgehead Strike. Detachment rule. Only the best. You're the best around. No one's ever gonna get you down. All right. The soldiers who make up such targeted strike force are hand-picked for their excellence and, where possible, provided with rigorous additional training to prepare them for conditions and foes on the ground. Each time an Astra Militarum, it's the faux Greek, the faux Latin. So I always want to say this in a very strong Latin. So it's Astra Militatum. But Astra Militarum, because, we say Astra. And I don't think the Astra is from the Latin. I think Astra is from the Greek. I could be wrong. I think that's one of the reasons why Greek got put in my head when I read that. But anyway, so your infantry models from your army makes a ranged attack. Reroll a hit roll of 1. So you get reroll 1s on your infantry. Done. Everything with the infantry keyword, and which is most regiments, 1s. You reroll hit rolls of 1. So right off, this is already off to a good start. You're a shooting army and you're improving the consistency of your shooting. What are we even talking about here? Fire Zone Purge. Key to this force's mission is the swift purgation of local enemy forces through sudden deployment and focused firefights. As such, whether they hit the ground from a low altitude drop or deploy from armored transports, the soldiers of this formation are trained to find targets and start shooting the instant the foe is in sight. Got sticky mouth. Got dry, sticky mouth. So I apologize for that. And we'll need to get more water. Each time a Militarum Tempestus model from your army makes a ranged attack in a turn in which it was set up on the battlefield from reserves or it disembarked from a transport, add 1 to the wound roll. So we already have a lot of vehicles in the game that give something like this when you disembark. This is just flat out. All of your Militarum Tempestus get a rule like this. Scions are already... Now, so you're buffing your whole army, and then you're further buffing Scions. And Scions are already good. Scions are a good unit. So yeah. So the big thing is this is basically... It's not quite a go turn ability because you can reuse it. But you're going to try, if you're playing this army right, you're going to try to coordinate your units and coordinate everything. So it is, you drive in your primes, you unload your Tempestus. At the end of your movement phase, you drop more down. You may even rapid infogress something in your opponent's turn, the previous turn, and then shift them into position during your turn, and then you unleash. Like, that is the goal of this army. And when you unleash, you'll be getting reroll ones, and then you will get +1 to wound roll. And your end goal, when you do this, is that you want to basically cripple your opponent's army on that go turn. That is your goal when you're playing this army. And keywords: if a Militarum Tempestus officer model from your army is your warlord, then Tempestus Scion units from your army gain the battle line keyword, and while such a unit is not battle shocked, I was actually kind of surprised. I actually saw a rules change in the balanced data slate that didn't have this added, but add 1 to the objective control characteristic of Tempestus Scion models in that unit. So you're not taking Leontis. He is actually at the point now where he is not auto-include, I would say. He is still good. Well, again, I haven't read the MFM. If they haven't changed his... If they didn't double nerf him, if they didn't raise his points in addition to the nerf he got, he is still good. He is still a good unit in your army, but he's no longer auto-include. You don't have to take Leontis anymore. So having like a Tempestus command squad in your army is perfectly feasible for your warlord. And again, Tempestus command squads are good. So this is a pretty good army roll. If you want to play Scions, this will let you play Scions. All right. Bombast class Vox Array, 25 points. This device is a precious example of an omni-frequency master Vox Array manufactured on long-lost Forge world of Urvax. It facilitates the rapid dissemination of orders throughout the entire strike force. Pick a Militarum Tempestus officer model only. Each time the bearer issues an order, if the bearer's unit contains 1 or more models equipped with a master Vox, it can issue that order up to 3 different regiment units instead of only 1. So you pick an order, bam, 3 of your regimental units get it. Because I'm pretty darn sure that Tempestus command squads cannot order to squadron. And it's 25 points. Yes. Priority drop beacon, 30 points. Locked to the designator runes of this officer's dropship and heavily warded against interference, this pre-deployed beacon ensures they land swiftly and on target. Again, your command squad model, the leader in your command squad model, the bearer's unit can be set up using the deep strike ability in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of any mission rules. Now, this is great because of its flexibility, and I do think 30 points is a fair cost for this, if not generous. Just remember, this army, I think, is all about the go turn. It is all about that coordinated strike. So this is giving you flexibility about when you can do this. So if your opponent is playing aggressively, this allows you to punish that aggression. That is what this rule is for. Shroud Projector, 15 points. Believed to be the roost of protective machine spirits, this small tech ossuary is worn on a chain around the neck and obfuscates the bearer and their comrades when moving. Again, this is your command squad. Enemy units cannot use fire overwatch threat. We're seeing a lot of this. They are trying to make it so that there is an option in at least every army that you do not have to worry about firearm overwatch. We're seeing a lot of this strat. It is not every army, but it is still present. In the demons, I would give it to the Zinch detachment if they were going to give it to one of them. So yeah. I think these are good enhancements. Fire overwatch, even with the nerfs it's taken, fire overwatch is, you're going to use it every chance you get. And you potentially are going to have a unit in your army specifically to target was the Fire Overwatch stratagem. Advance Augury. This tactically astute officer insists on orbital sensor sweeps and side-scrying ahead of the operation's commencement, providing vital intelligence. Infantry officer over. Infantry? An entropy officer? Infantry officer model only. So this can be any of your... This is basically anything but a tank commander. Or a character, obviously. After both players have deployed their army, select up to 3 regiment units from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set those units up in strategic reserve, regardless of how many units are already in. This one and this one pair together beautifully, because if you can wait and see how aggressive your opponent is being, how they're setting up their army, and then you can potentially redeploy things as you need to. So you can be conservative with your strat reserves, conservative with putting things in deep strike, and then shift them using, if you need to. So these are decent enhancements. There is nothing here that is like, I mean, this is abnormal. This is more powerful and flexible than you normally see, and I think 30 points is a good cost for it. Other than that, there's nothing here that is really like, this is, game breaking. You're going to take the Bombast class Vox Array, and then depending on how you want to play and the way I would play Scions, I would also take the Drop Beacon and the Augury. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to have 3 command squads in my army, but, this can be put on a command squad or can be put on any other guard infantry commander. So, and this is good. This is a good to have. It really is. This is really good to have, but I honestly would start with these 3 enhancements. And I literally might start with these 3 enhancements by setting up the units to put them on. All right, on to the strats. Bellicosa Drop. 1 CP. Bellicosa Battle Tactics Stratagem. Bellicosa Drop protocols require intensive additional training, but enable elite Imperial soldiery to land virtually on top of the enemy positions. Use this during the reinforcement step of your movement phase, so it cannot be comboed with Rapid Ingress. You pick a Astra Militarum infantry unit from your army that is in reserves and has the Deep Strike ability. Until the end of the phase, when your unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. So it's 6-inch Deep Strike, and of course it's got the Can't Declare Charge. You're putting this on something more than your Aquilons, and that's great. Again, this is a great one for that go turn. Servo Designators. 1 CP strategic deploy, released in a swarm from a modified Valkyrie gunship. High-altitude servo skulls analyze targeting data from the ongoing fight and then provide updating firing solutions to the troops on the ground. Pardon me, sorry about that. Use in your shooting phase just after an Astra Militarum military infantry unit from your army is shot. That infantry unit is the target. Select 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks that is visible to your unit till the end of phase. That enemy unit cannot have the benefit of cover. Normally, I would say that strats like this are very good. Like, they're not fantastic. They're not a super S tier strat, but they're still good to have. You're only going to want to use this on something like Kasserkin or your actual, like, again, if you're playing Science, you're going to have Science to use this on. And this is what you're going to want to use this on. Remember that cover a lot of the time doesn't matter if you're AP 0, and a lot of guard shooting is AP 0. So you're only going to want to use this if you've already got some AP on your weapons. But fortunately, Scions do have AP on their weapons. Aerial Extraction, 1 CP, Epic Deed Stratagem, such swift. I keep expecting there to be another S for some reason. Such swift maneuvers are vital to retaining command of the developing tactical situation. Such swift situations? Try saying that 3 times fast. Whenever gunships are peeling off to strike at the enemy from a fresh angle or infantry being extracted by dropcraft for rapid deployment. All right, you use this during at the very end of your opponent's fight phase. So you are surviving your opponent's charge and fight phase to even use this. You pick a Valkyrie unit from your army that is not within engagement range or 1 or more enemy units. If it's aircraft, you don't even need to worry about that. I can't remember if Valkyrie can hover. Or you pick an Astra Militarum unit from your army that has the deep strike ability and is not within engagement range or 1 or more enemy units. Remove your unit from the battlefield and place it in the strat reserves. Done. So it is an uppy downy rule. However, it is an uppy downy rule you can do to anything providing you take a Valkyrie. GW does not like aircraft right now, but if you're playing a more fun and fluffy game, then you might have the Valkyrie around just for fun, in which case this actually gives your Valkyrie something to do. 1 CP, Firing Hot. Battle Tactic. At the risk of permanently burning out power packs, hotshot weaponry can be temporarily overcharged to provide additional punch at crucial moment. Use when you shoot. You pick either a Tempestus unit or a Catherkin unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Until the end of the phase, improve the strength and armor penetration characteristics of Hotshot Las carbines, Hotshot Las guns, Hotshot Las pistols, Hotshot marksman rifles, Hotshot volley guns, and Sentry Hotshot volley guns equipped by models in your unit by 1. +1 strength, +1 AP, 2 fantastic and relevant buffs right off the bat. If you got something else to give you like lethal hits from something, from like a commander or something like that, even better. Hot shots are already good. This already makes them good. Again, you're going to want to make sure you've got the CP for this during your go turn. Okay, fire and relocate. 1 CP strategic ploy. Once deployed, it is vital that the soldiers stay on the move and keep firing, avoiding becoming bogged down and maintaining the pressure on their reeling foes. Use, again, in your shooting phase, you pick any of your units, so this can even do tanks, excluding Titanic from your army. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it advanced. Again, this can help you. Even if you are not using this on your go turn itself, it can get you in position for your go turn. And then finally, on my position, 1 CP Epic Deed, circling Aeronautica Imperialis strike fighters weight above to launch strafing runs should the attack falter. In extremis, these assets can be called down upon Imperial positions in danger of being overrun, affording soldiers the desperate dignity of taking their enemies with them into death. Oh yeah, we in the Guard. Use this again at the end of your opponent's fight phase. So the unit had to survive to begin with. It's probably not going to last much longer to begin with. You pick a regiment infantry unit from your army that is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. You roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within engagement range of your unit. On a 2+, that enemy unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. Then your unit suffers 3d3 mortal wounds. So, depending on how things are going in combat, providing you survive your enemy's go turn, you can hit one of your units with an aerial extraction, and then you can hit another of your units with on my position. All right. These are pretty fun stratagems. We have a 6-inch deep strike, so you can bring something in close other than an Aquilon. You got Firing Hot is really good. You've got Advance and Shoot. Like, This one, like, this is like a kind of like S tier level stratagem, and is S tier in almost anything you put it in. It depends. It's always better. Like, if you've got, you can use this to drop something your opponent absolutely does not want 6 inches away. Like, then this is better in some armies than others. Like, again, Ret Cadra. Like, who are we talking about? What would you rather have jumping 6 inches away from you? Would you rather it be a unit of Scions, or would you rather it be a prick of Sunforged Crisis? Like, one of these things is not like the other. But even still, this is still like A tier, at least an A tier stratagem, and this probably still S tier. So this is really good. This is really good. This is useful. These two are nice to have in your pocket. I'm not gonna lie, your guard. Like, I'm sorry, your guard. You're in the guard. You know what you signed up for. You get hit by like an Orc Wa, a unit of 8 bound, new Sandguard. Like, your unit's not going to make it to use either of these. But if it does, if somehow you do survive, oh, this one is not in engagement range. This is within engagement range. So yeah, if you do survive, this is the not in engagement range. So you're using it to as, you know, as your opponent is closing in on you. Or just as an uppy downy. So this is just a regular uppy downy. Okay, I thought this was like an engagement range one, but no, it's all right. I misread this one. Actually, I probably read it verbally, but I misunderstood what I was reading. So yeah, this is an uppy downy, and uppy downy is good, especially in a unit that in an army that already has deep strike available to it. But yeah, so like, this one is a nice to have. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is situational. This is situational, but probably still good in a lot of cases. Your army's already going to be pretty mobile, so. And there's going to be, the simple fact of the matter is you're not spending CP on 4. You're not spending CP on 4 stratagems a turn. Like, that's not happening. So, yep. Anyway, yeah, this is good. I think guard players who are looking for a Scion detachment, again, like right off the bat, like it was off to a good start to begin with. The enhancement system section is B to A tier, okay, but like you're increasing the reliability of a shooting army. Like, right off the bat, you're increasing the reliability of a shooting army. Now, again, this does mean that this army rule is not affecting your tank commanders. It's not affecting Leman Russes. It's not affecting Rogel Dorns. It's not affecting Sentinels, because this is infantry, not regiment. So there are a lot of very, like, key guard units that aren't being affected by this army rule, but a large portion, like, again, if you're, you know, especially since you're taking this, you're going to be playing Scions to begin with. But a large portion of your guard army is going to be benefiting from this rule. You are going to be enjoying this. And then all of your Scions are just better. They all get a go turn. They all get a chance. And even if you can't coordinate the go turn, they all at least is as providing you protect them and actually bring them in to fight properly, they all get a chance to shine. So, and this army will take some skill to play too, because again, your guard, you're made of paper. You show up 6 inches outside of your opponent and you don't kill your opponent is killing you. But yeah, no, I think this is fun, and I think this is probably pretty good. It is not as good. I do not think this is as good as Born Soldiers. It's Combined Arms, I think is what it's called. Yeah, I do not think this is as good as Combined Arms. Combined Arms is a very good detachment. But I still think this is going to be good enough that if you are a fan of Scions, you can play Scions and you can have success with Scions. So, And that's going to be it. It is, you know, I'm, like I said, family day, so I'm running behind, and I've still got another stream to do. So I want to at least get one zone under my belt. It would be cool if I could beat Act 3 tonight. But and then if I do, regardless, I've still got a lot of research because I still have to go through all of the facts and indexes in the MFM. So until next time, this has been Divine Erdrick, and I'll see you all